of Christians, but of all people out there. And so his time in Lebanon was a way to be as close as possible. And in fact, these Wednesday audiences that have begun, he asked that they should now be in Arabic as well. So if you go to the Vatican website, you can read all his Wednesday audiences in Arabic as well as the others. So it's his way of showing how much the Church cares for what's going on, especially in the war-torn Middle East at the moment.
Ruth, great to get your perspective. Really been interesting to chat with you. Ruth Davies, a Catholic commentator there, joining us via Skype. Thanks so much, and hopefully we can speak again.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Nick Robertson now, standing by in London. Nick, you've been following this as well as it's unfolded over the last really just an hour or two since this announcement was made. What do you think the reaction is going to be within the Church itself? Obviously now a process begins.
And people will look to that process and to the people around the Pope for guidance. This will be a period where people can reflect on the achievements of the Pope and perhaps the areas where he's achieved less or failed to meet people's expectations. Certainly a feeling that has been a rather conservative Pope. And perhaps there will be aspirations from some of the developing nations who were really wanting to see a Pope representative of their part of the world, be it the South Americas or Africa, when Pope Benedict was elected. Certainly one might expect in those areas a hope being expressed that maybe that a pope from their region will be picked, somebody who is from an area where the Church is still growing, where it's still vibrant, where it's still where still the churches are being filled with the faithful, and perhaps not somebody as Pope Benedict was from Europe. I think it's very interesting what we've heard in the last few minutes or so from the Vatican as well, making clear that the Pope will not be part of the process in deciding who the next Pope will be. That will be, as tradition dictates, left to those 120 or so cardinals who are all under 80 years of age. That the Pope will, after he resigns, go to the papal summer palace outside Rome for a period, and then following that will move back into some cloisters inside the Vatican. So we're getting an idea here from within the Church how they expect this to move along, and certainly the expectation from within the Church is that this will follow the very traditional lines of electing a new Pope, Michael.
And when we look back at Pope Benedict, obviously we heard from Ruth Davies there telling us the very positive things that the faithful have found with him. Where will others, when they look at his legacy a little bit more critically, see perhaps where he may have fallen down a little?
Well, the sexual abuse that has been perpetrated on children by priests for over the period of several decades. There are many people that really, when they see Pope Benedict, they see Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, who was the sort of chief investigator of all these allegations of abuse and abuses themselves, when he was in the Vatican in the couple of decades before he became Pope. So he's seen as already sort of coming to the job with a track record, and they've seen the advice that he has offered to the Church and to the cardinals and to the bishops and to the priests as falling short of expectations. Still the expectation that priests would not share with the police in some countries allegations of abuse, that they would keep this within the Church, and certainly very little done. It has been felt by many people, particularly victims of abuse, and I'm thinking here of Ireland over the past couple of years, where people have literally walked out of churches when the Pope's letter was